Our meeting today provided us with an opportunity to critically review our bay restoration efforts that have been ongoing for decades now. And it was also an opportunity to identify the actions that must be taken if we are to accelerate our efforts to restore the health of this important body. After the past quarter century, through this partnership, we've made some real progress towards our goals, but there is much, much more to do. Historically, the bay has been one of the most productive estuaries on the earth. It's provided tremendous habitat for fish, wildlife, as well as unparalleled economic and recreational opportunity. However, our generation has also seen a big decline in the health of the bay and of the rivers and of the streams that flow into it. Why? For many reasons, all of them having to do with human activity on the land around it. All sorts of human activity, development, agriculture, point source pollution, the type and the way that we generate the energy that turns on the lights in our homes and that fuels our cars. It's now our moral imperative to chart a new course for our bay, and by restoring it, hopefully leaving it in a much better condition for our children and for our children's children. Last year, in keeping with our commitment to be more accountable to the people that we serve, we confirmed what many had long believed, and what anyone with two sets of fingers would have been able to tell you, and that is that we would not be able to hit the goal that had been established before, I believe, any of us were in office, of the 2010 goal, which would amount to roughly a 40% reduction. That's the second time I understand that that's happened. But I want to take a moment here to acknowledge the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and our many bay advocates throughout the region for what they're doing in this cause of making progress together as the free people that we are. We hear you. We understand the frustration of the advocates, and we hope the advocates understand the frustrations of your fellow citizens, some of whom stand before you as elected officials. The most important days in life are not necessarily the easy days. They're the tough days when, despite setback, you have the freedom and the privilege, the ability to pick yourself up off the mat, move forward, learn from the pace of the progress made, what sort of pace is required for the future. And that's what we are resolved to do. Much of the work that we've done today builds upon some of the champion commitments that we made last year. The partnership, importantly today, we agreed, all of us together, I believe, virtually all of us together, to endorse the idea of bringing on an independent evaluator composed of a panel of nationally renowned scientists that will monitor program performance, offer programmatic advice, and help hold all partners accountable. Now, this is one component, but we believe it's an important component of a program reorganization that's currently underway to increase the efficiency, the effectiveness, the openness, the transparency, the accountability of our restoration work. And this effort will be led by Maryland staff as part of our commitment to champion accountability. And in Maryland, we will continue to use our BayStat efforts, our BayStat model, to tell us whether we are in fact taking enough actions to meet the goals that we hope to be able to achieve with regard to reductions, and to do so every 2 years by developing specific action plans. Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia and the Bay Commission have also agreed to move forward in a number of other important ways. We took on champion roles last year at last year's Executive Council. In the interest of brevity, while all of us will be available to answer questions that the press may have, I'm just going to recap some of the champion roles that each of the states had taken before I turn it over to our incoming chair, Governor Kane. At last year's Executive Council meeting, members embraced champion roles. Number one, together, the Executive Council states, the District of Columbia, the Chesapeake Bay Commission, all signed a Biofuels Executive Council directive today called Leading the Nation in the Development of Sustainable Next-Generation Biofuels Industry. And this directive is a result of last year's joint champion commitment between the state of Maryland and the Chesapeake Bay Commission. And some of you were were here earlier as we walk through the report and staff walk through the report. We have a tremendous opportunity in this Chesapeake Bay region because of many factors, including our natural environment, to really become leaders in that next generation of biofuels, non-food stock fuels. And we're excited about that. The directive is a result of last year's joint effort, as I said, between Pennsylvania and the Chesapeake Bay Commission. I want to commend Governor Rendell and Chairman Hershey for their vision and their leadership on this issue and the conference that was had in Harrisburg on this issue. It's some great work in that report. I commend it to the reading of all who are in ear, eye, or web shot of this announcement. Number two, Delaware hosted a symposium designed to further the concepts of making trading and offset programs work in the Chesapeake Bay watershed to reduce nutrient input and our carbon footprint. Number three, New York is leading the way in wetlands restoration through its partnership with the Upper Susquehanna Coalition, with over 175 acres restored. Number four, West Virginia continues to explore opportunities to improve stormwater management, recognizing the challenges of their particular topography.